Mind you, I'm like, at 13, people are impressionable at that time. Like, who knows, like, what type of state of mind I would have been in, and your ass over here trying to use me to be cracking little baby jokes. Like, where did you do that at? Hey y'all, it's your girl Pound Cake, and I'm coming to you with another video. Today I'm actually going to take part in a story time, and story time is actually going to be a playback off of my Get to Know Me questions video. There was a question that I didn't answer because I know I want to do a story time on it. But yeah, so if you want to know what the story time is about, keep on watching. Alright y'all, so I'm going to do a story time today, and the question that was asked is, what is your most embarrassing moment? So my most embarrassing moment had to have a video of its own, because it's just that, my most embarrassing moment, and I remember it like it just happened yesterday. But I'll go ahead and get into it. It started on a warm Sunday. No, I'm just playing. No, it happened back in, I want to say like August of 1999, like a long time ago, like back the end of the decade, right? I was 13 years old, and it was the summer of me ending my 7th grade, the beginning of my 8th grade. And I was part of this teen club, this teen program that one of my really good friends, her mom ran the program. And that's what we did for the summer. It was an awesome program. I actually really enjoyed being a part of it. We would have like dances, they provided us lunch, we would have like activities. We also would like do like little things here and there, like we went to like Six Flags, which is my spot. We also would do like Santa Monica Pier, and just a whole bunch of different like activities, like very team based, and to kind of keep, you know, the kids pretty much busy for the summer, because we all know idle time causes for trouble. So these programs are actually really good during that time, or for like adolescents. I believe you have to be like 12 through like 17 or 13 through 17. I'm not necessarily sure, but I know that's the type of age range it was. And to be honest, it was like for like at-risk teens, and you know, all the fine hotties was at risk. Niggas was bad in and out of juvie, breaking the law, you know. But that wasn't my case. I just happened to be in it because my friend mama ran it, and I was like, I want to be where the cuties is at, you know. So that's how that started. But yeah, I was in the program, like I said, a great time. And this particular day, we were going to go to the Jamie Foxx show taping, right? The Jamie Foxx show. We all know the Jamie Foxx show, one of the best sitcoms that there were. Jamie Foxx is the GOAT. But he was having a taping, and back then, I'm not sure if they do this still, but back then they would have like studio audiences, right? So they would have a lot of people in the studio, and they would use like the sound clips for like, you know, laughing tracks or whatever the, you know, the scene needed. The audience was the one that would go ahead and provide that. So this particular day, like I said, we were going to the Jamie Foxx taping, and mind you, I had went back to school shopping because we were close to returning back to the school year, and I had went back to school shopping, so I have all my illest gear, all my hot things. And now keep in mind the outfit I'm about to describe, what I had on. Like I said, I went back to school shopping, so I had the hottest trends I believed, right? So what I decided to wear was, I had on a white t-shirt, boom, some blue jeans, which I cuffed up, boom, followed by one of my school shoes, which was the, now keep in mind this is 1999. I had some FUBU shoes, and I was like, oh yeah, these is the ones, like I'm about to be, these are the ones. And I do believe I got to like Ross or some shit like that, like, because again, this is 99, so they have all the illest threads. But I had got these FUBU shoes, and they were all gray, and they had like orange accents, which I'll insert here. They look nuts now, but back then that was the move, right? So I was like, okay, cool, have my little ensemble. Now back then, like middle school, high school, performance fleece, like pretty much sweaters were like really in, right? So like Old Navy and Gap were pretty much the move at that time. Like everyone had a Gap sweater, or you had an Old Navy sweater, or both, depending on, you know, your finances or whatnot. Inexpensive, like 30 bucks, but back then 30 bucks was 30 bucks, like. But anyway, so I have to say, that was the style. So of course I got my performance fleece vest, my performance fleece hoodies and stuff like that. They have some with hoodies, some without. I have both. Thanks. But when I was in Old Navy, I decided that I had seen these performance fleece utility vests. I said, ooh, like, yes, like this is it. Like, I can do some things with this. Like, I can set the tone. Like, I didn't see nobody with these vests. You feel me? And mind you, I used to really be into like fluorescent colors back then, like lime green, yellow, orange. Like those were the colors that I used to wear. Like, yeah, no. So anyway, I used to be really into the type of colors. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be on with this little vest. And I only got one, and it happened to be in the color orange. Boom. Here's my FUBU shoes. So you know how the outfit is coming. So what I ended up wearing was my FUBU shoes, and I cut my jeans like I said, so you can see my shoes because they was real cute, no ankle socks involved. You feel me? And I wore my utility vest, my little performance fleece vest, and I thought it was the look. And mind you, back then no one was wearing makeup, nobody was wearing bundles like weaves. Niggas was wearing like braids and curly ponytails with all these like. We was real kids back then, like, for real, for real. And I'm like, I'm going to the park, I'm going to Jamie Foxx taping. I'm about to be, they about to see me, you feel me? And that was the temperature, that's what I was given at the time. Now, I was like, if I wear this, they gonna see me and put me on that stage and put me in a clip or something. I was like, they gonna choose me, I'm gonna like steal the show. Now be careful what you wish for, because sometimes you're gonna get it, but not in a way that you would expect. Keep in mind. So, you know what I'm saying, we got cute. I'm like, okay, cool, we going to the show. Now we getting on the bus, we have to meet up at the park because that's where we'll meet up, and then the park would provide transportation, and we would take the bus and take us to wherever we were going. Now the Jamie Foxx show, I believe, was taped in Burbank. Don't quote me, but I believe it was taped in Burbank. And at that time, that's where we went. We got dropped off, and then we went to the studio. Now, how the studio was set up, there were like 3 sections, right? There's a right section, a middle section, and a section on the left. And each section probably had 10 or 12 rows. So it's a studio audience, but most of the space is taken up by the set, right? The stage. That's how it's taken up mostly. And so we're in the back. We pretty much had the middle section, right? Like the whole club. It was about 40 to 50 of us that went. So we had pretty much this entire like section sewn up. Now when you're teens, you know, you have a good time. Like everyone's just having a good time. Like, and how these studio tapings used to work, they used to have like DJs, so they would play music during intermissions, and they had an in-house comedian. Right. So we had an in-house comedian, and the show was going good. Everyone's having a good time. Now, during the intermission, we would like get up, go to the aisleways, and be dancing and doing our thing, like doing like some just typical teen fun stuff, right? And that was that. Like, we had a good time. We were playing good contemporary music. The in-house comedian was getting it, like the audience involved. It was like a really, really, really good time. Like, we had a great time. And it had been about 4 intermissions in, and someone was sitting down before me. So what I did was I was like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and let this person pass, and I wait in the aisleway while they get in. Now keep in mind, they had an in-house comedian. His name was Speedy, right? Here's Speedy right here. He's a comedian for the Jamie Foxx show. He actually did a couple of episodes, and to my knowledge, they're actually really good friends, or I know they were. I don't know as of today, but I know they were really good friends, and he was an in-house comedian. So he was cracking jokes. Everyone was having a good time. As I'm standing up waiting for someone to go have a seat, I'm left in the island by myself, right? Like, so I'm the only one that's standing up. Mind you, I had on my utility vest, right? My performance fleece utility vest. So I had my little vest on, and next thing you know, I hear him say, "What the hell you got on?" Huh? Me? He was like, "Yes, you." Like, what is that? I was like, my performance fleece utility vest? So, like, what do you mean what do I have on? He was like, "Girl, that shit ugly." And I was just like, ugh, okay. And mind you, I'm 13. So I'm just getting to my adolescence, you know, got a little ass, little titties. You know, I'm getting a little attention, so I'm kind of coming into my own, coming to myself. And I'm like, okay, like, that's cute. Mind you, he just like, he roasts me, like, eat me up. He was like, girl, like, what you do, drive buses, like, work for the city, like, what is you doing? Is you a crossing guard? Like, I mean, going in, pretty much called me to hell. Like, you look nuts. And mind you, I had so much confidence that day because I had on, everything I had on was new because it was my school clothes. And I was like, ooh, she's not eating my little vest up. So I'm just like, whatever. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna have a seat because I guess I said it was about me. So let's take a chill. The next intermission, he continues. More and more jokes. I mean, eating me up. Oh my God. He was calling me all kind of shit like Tropicana. He was, I mean, ripping me with this orange vest on, and I thought I was looking good. So at this point, I'm mad embarrassed, and I'm like, oh my God, like, I can't believe he's doing this to me, like, me of all people, the baddest. Like, how dare you? You know what I'm saying? But anyway, so he's eating me up. I'm just like, bro, enough. Like, you getting carried away at this point. Like, relax. You know what I'm saying? So he was doing his thing, ripping me, and the next intermission is like over the top. He was just, and like, you know how comedians are, like whenever they got a joke or they feel like some shit is fucking funny, they say it and they be laughing as they say it because they think it's funny. I mean, even when I say funny shit, I be laughing. So he's like going in. The next intermission took the cake. He was like, oh, bro, like, I know what you got on. I'm just like, oh my God. I'm telling my friend, like, girl, he is doing too much. Like, what is he doing? This nigga came up with a whole motherfucking, like, punchline, catchphrase. He was like, oh, I know what you got on. And he was like, y'all know what she got on? Everybody was like, what? And he was like, she got on a sweater vest. Pardon me? This nigga named my vest sweater vest. He was like, girl, your body cold, your arms is not, like, what the hell possessed you to grab that? Like, and mind you, performance fleece was like an everyday type of fleece. So you can wear it like on a regular basis. It wasn't like the typical fleece that you normally see, which is why they call it performance fleece. And he was like, that shit ugly. Like, I don't know why you thought that would be the move. Like, blah, blah, blah. Like, I mean, eating me up. It got to the point, he got the crowd like involved. He was like, y'all say it with me, sweater vest. Like, I'm sitting here like, oh my God, like, I'm so embarrassed. Like, to the point where I want to take that shit the fuck off. Like, I want to zip that bitch down and leave it in my seat and walk out. Like, I was like, oh my God, like, he really is ripping my performance fleece that I thought was the move going to my 8th grade year, right? Like, I was like, oh, I'm about to kill him on the playground with this shit. Kill him at break, kill him at nutrition, kill him at lunch, kill him at the school, my performance fleece utility vest. But no, things went different. So after that, like I said, he roasted me to pretty much the remaining of the show. He would like move on, but he would come back to the sweater vest like randomly and just be cracking up. He was like, y'all, sweater vest. And I'm just like, okay, like, I cannot wait to go home and go in my bed and cry because this nigga is roasting me. So the show is over. We're all leaving. At this point, I'm angry because I knew who he was because I grew up watching like Comic View, Def Comedy Jam, and he would have like specials on there. So I'm, you know, I'm familiar with him. But after that, oh, you're not even funny to me. You were on my shit list. I don't even do you, sir. Like, you are canceled, okay? That's why you in the back doing segments and intermissions for a show that you, anyway. I was doing too much, but I was just mad coming out in my feelings about it. And as I'm leaving, he pulls me aside. He was like, hey, he's like, you know, I want to apologize. You know, I'm a comedian. That's the type of jokes that we do. And I was like, I'm 13. If I wasn't as confident as I was, or as, you know what I'm saying, like in my own shit as I was, like who knows what that would have done to me? Like, you pretty much embarrassed me on a large scale in front of our entire team group. And not to mention, it was dudes in there I was trying to get with, so now even more so, I'm like, okay, so I'm embarrassed. And now I'm like, okay, say less, but you're dead to me. Moving right along. So we get back on the bus to go back to the park so we can go back home, right? Because the night is over. And we're on the bus. The whole bus ride, everyone's singing Sweater. It was like, Dominique, I'm like, what's up? It was like, Sweater Vest. I'm like, bro, really? Like, we on that still? So I already knew when I got back to the crib, this shit was going back. Like, I was gonna tell my mom, like, this shit is being returned. We don't want it. I don't ever want to see a vest in my life again. Like, this shit is a wrap. That was some bullshit. I was very, very angry. And one of the cutie pies that I was trying to get with in the program that was on a bus, I looked at him so differently. Like, you're not the guy I thought you were. That shit is out. So I was done with that. So that was like my most embarrassing moment. Mind you, I was 13. Fast forward 6 years. At this point, I'm 19. I'm in college, in my own spot, kicking it with my bitches, doing adult things because we at this point are adults. Now, mind you, we would go to this comedy club that was in Los Angeles. Used to be called Mixed Nuts. And we were under 21, but they didn't even card you. So we used to go there all the time because we could. And they would card us. We would have drinks, eat chicken wings, all that really, really fun stuff. So I go over to my homegirl one day. And tell me why I walk in and the comedian on the stage look a little familiar. I'm like, I think I know him. But where do I know him from? I know exactly where the fuck I knew him from because you never forget no shit like that that's memorable. I was like, ooh, that's fucking Speedy. Okay, cool. I got to get off my chest. I need to get a hold of him or something, like I gotta talk to him. So what would happen is because it was a small club, people would go outside to like smoke or get fresh air or whatever. So I had to let him go outside. So I go outside. I'm like, excuse me, is your name Speedy? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, oh. I was like, I actually got a bone to pick with you because you embarrassed me when I was 13 and I'm not over that shit. And he like kind of chuckled. He was like, oh, my bad. Like, I'm a comedian type of shit. Like, you know, like what happened where I was at. So I ran him down the whole story. And tell me why he started busting up. What? Like, what's funny? Like, he was just like, tell me what. He was like, I remember that. He was like, you know what's so funny? Like, I use that actually in a couple of my routines. Like, that shit was funny. Like, and I'm just like, bruh, I'm here to pick a bone with you. Like, I don't want to hear about stuff that you use at my expense. Mind you, I'm like, at 13, people are impressionable at that time. Like, who knows? Like, what type of state of mind I would have been in, and your ass over here trying to use me to be cracking little baby jokes. Like, where did they do that at? So anyway, so we was chopping it up or whatever, and he was like, I remember you. He was like, that's funny. He was just like, I apologize. Like, you know what I'm saying? My intention was never to like hurt your feelings or embarrass you. You know, he was like, I didn't know you guys were like any teen programs coming in here or whatnot. He was like, I just seen people like in the audience. They don't pretty much, you know, run down the list and say, oh, hey, we have so-and-so coming or this is coming, you know, to scale back. Like, I didn't know, you know, y'all was no kids like that. Like, but I want to apologize. And I was like, you know what? I accept your apology because, again, that was like 6 years ago and I'm a bad bitch today. So, you know, I guess we could be cool or whatnot. And we was just that, like literally, like we were super cool after that. He bought me a drink. Boom. So that really pretty much sealed the apology, and I was like, all right, cool. So we was cool after that, and he actually talked to one of my homegirls, but yeah. But he was like real cool. I haven't talked to him in like forever, but this was like, at this point, we're like 05-ish, just like 2005. And we would go to the comedy club like every Saturday because, like I said, we were under 21. We can get up in that motherfucker like no problem. But yeah, so we like became really, really cool. He was dating one of my homegirls for a bit. But yeah, like to this day, I haven't seen him in years because that was like 2005. But we will still be cool, I'm sure. I haven't seen him. But yeah, like that was like my most embarrassing moment. Like I couldn't believe he tried to play me for some baby jokes. Like, where'd they do that at? Like, but needless to say, you know, that's the stuff that we do when we're growing up, trials and tribulations. Like I said, things happen. Like, you know, we have experiences that sometimes that shape us to be who we are today. Like when I tell you I was embarrassed, I was fucking embarrassed. Like top of the line embarrassed, top tier embarrassed, like never in my life. Like, and I know that story like verbatim, like it just happened yesterday, because again, it's like cemented in my mind. Like I will never forget that shit happened to me when I was 13 years old, you know? And it wasn't like anything traumatic or anything, but I just remembered it, and it didn't really affect anything. Like, of course I was like a little embarrassed because it happened amongst people that I hang out with like on a normal basis. But it didn't really carry like too far. Like for the remaining of the summer, I think people was like saying little like slick shit, but you know, I fucking get down. I got them hands, so nobody really went to smoke with me. So with that being said, like I said, it didn't last too long. But yeah, that was the most embarrassing moment. I thought I'd share that with you all. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure I have more story times to come on different things that have occurred in my life, but like I said, it wasn't traumatic, or you know, it didn't put me in no type of feelings or make me feel a type of way. Like I've always been like a super confident, popular chick, and that should remain even after my fucking sweater vest comment. But yeah, so for those of y'all, this is an infamous sweater vest story that people, I tell people they be screaming every time I tell them that shit. But yeah, fucking sweater vest, 1999. What it do? Not be playing. And again, I want to thank you guys for sticking through the story time with me. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I will be doing, you know, several different story times on some other things that have occurred as well, you know, as I remember them. But again, I do want to thank you all for watching. I want you to like, comment, and subscribe. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers, so y'all help me get there. But with that being said, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.